How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is DS Lyons of the Movie Blues. Today on the show, we are going to hit the bottom of the barrel.
And so someone's gonna come. No, someone is coming!
I'm gonna come.
Yes, this is a anti-pornography, found footage, Christian horror movie for kids.
What?
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
As you know from my channel, over these past couple months, I've been exploring all the best found footage horror movies that exist on planet Earth. So far on my channel, I've made it through 40 full recommendations for you guys across 3 videos, so if you haven't seen those yet, check them out if you want to watch a good movie. But today, we're going to be talking about not only a bad found footage movie, not only a bad horror movie, but one of the flat-out worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And that covers 6 seasons of podcasting about bad movies, that covers many years of watching and collecting bad movies, but I really think that today's film has taken the cake, the rotten shit cake, the shit-flavored doo-doo cake of bad movies. Lock-In, 2014. This is a movie that is not available any longer on the internet, that you cannot find anywhere, that is not even copywritten because the people who made it seem to have completely abandoned it and have never come back to claim it. But thankfully, you can still find this bad boy on YouTube. In fact, I'm going to leave a link to the full movie in the description here, but I highly suggest watching this video instead of the entire movie, because watching this entire movie is physically bad for you. It is mentally bad for your brain. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take you on a guided tour through this disaster. We're gonna take a look at all of the things that make Lock-In, the Christian found footage horror movie, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. So the movie starts with the production company logo for Holy Moly Pictures and a thank you to a church. And that's how you know you're heading into a wholesome motion picture. First up, we meet Pastor Eric, and this guy is going to introduce us to some very hard truths that we're going to be battling with throughout this movie.
Can you kind of tell me what you saw in the footage?
Let's just say I now believe there's a correlation between pornography and demon activity.
And he has already seen the footage that we are about to see. In fact, he lived it.
What happened that night, and I hope that that tape never sees the light of day.
Honestly, based. Next, we are introduced to our first of many dork mega-virgins, Blake, who's making a movie about their church lock-in happening later in the night, which is an event where the pastors and people who work at the church are gonna lock all the kids in so they can have a fun and corn-free night hanging out together, playing board games for Jesus.
I know what you're thinking. Why am I gonna watch this? Because it's just a bunch of Christian people praying and doing silly stuff.
Honestly,
Based.
Guess what? We're gonna get crazy and have all kinds of fun tonight because we're cool. All right?
I just want to be clear, I don't dislike these Christian youth kids for being virginal dorks, but I do kind of dislike them for trying to assimilate their fire and brimstone religion into the realm of what people consider to be cool.
We're cool. All right?
Now, I can agree that prayer could be healing to you. It could be psychosomatically helpful to your disposition. But please, do not ever try to convince me that it's cool. I might be pretty old now, but like partying, concerts, doing backflips when you're really, really drunk, that's cool when you're a teenager. Getting together and praying, it's not cool. You can call it a lot of things. Let's not pretend that it's dope. So we follow Blake to his buddy Nick's house, where apparently he wants to bang every member of Nick's family. I don't know.
It is literally the best pleasure of my life every time I see your face.
You're my favorite baby.
Big sister is so hot.
Let's just get it over with. Nick's mom is big crazy.
Where do you think young Nicholas is right now?
Nick! Are you awake?
Now we meet our lead protagonist, Nicky, who has a room about as sparse as a serial killer. And apparently has a crush on a girl named Jessica who's also going to be at the lock-in. Which starts as kind of cute until Nick's mom gets involved, who's a crazy-ass bird who has some fiercely bizarre energy once again.
Oh my god.
Nicky, I've never heard of Jessica. Who is she? Where does she live? What does her father do? Where did you meet her, Nicky?
What are you doing? Like, listening to my...
You're blushing. I know, Nicky. Have you touched her?
Oh.
Did you kiss her,
No,
Nicky?
Mom, no.
Did you pray about this first?
Yes.
Dad. Oh.
Look at me, Nicky.
All right.
I love you. I don't
right.
want you getting
We all
anybody
love you.
pregnant.
Where'd you meet her?
Nicky,
We met at school, okay? It was no big deal. She's in my math class. That's all it is.
Did you solve her problems for her?
I met your mother.
Was
of
it
the
to-go
restaurant? What do you
pizza?
mean front of back seat?
Was it to go or did you stay in the restaurant?
Go and tell him.
No,
First of all,
Luigi,
we
no
walked
weenie,
there.
no weenie.
This scene felt like an absolute eternity. The amount of embarrassment that this would cause me as Nick would be absolutely profound. But just when I thought that the 5 minutes of pure embarrassment were over, bam, we cut to a second setup and we kind of go even further into it.
Please be careful, Nicky. You're a young man. You're full of hormones.
The chaperones there? Dad probably, I don't know. It's not gonna be like that crazy barn dance thing that Dad grew up at. It's nothing like that.
I know about the barn.
Yeah, I know. You've told me about it a bunch of times.
Keep your barn shut.
He's just such a baby still.
Keep the barn door shut.
Yes, Father. Help him to keep his trap door shut.
Next, we get to hear the gang ripping on Justin, the cameraman, for being poor.
That's like the trifecta. It's like you leave the grandparents, homeschooled, dumpster dive, and like cut that out.
Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Look, I'm not here to point out Christian hypocrisy. I mean, if anything, history books and this movie itself can do that plenty without me stepping in at all. They're really making it easy here. After making fun of Justin for being a poor dumpster creature, the boys pull over to a dumpster to dive with him. And that's when they come upon the titular dirty mag in a dirty bag that sets off the horrific elements of this movie.
It's a dirty mag. I know they don't have those in homeschooling, but here in the real world, they are quite the treat.
Now, when the boys go to leave, Blake plants the dirty mag on Nick, and the gang heads off to the lock-in.
It's time to get absolutely locked in.
The lock-in begins, and we see our boy Pastor Chris again from the beginning before Korn destroyed his entire church and life. Chris breaks down the rules and introduces a fun CCTV setup for the movie that they will honestly never use. So our boy Pastor Chris then explains that he's got his personal cell phone set up. If anybody in the lock-in looks up anything inappropriate or pornographic, it's going to send a text directly to his phone, and then he is going to round everybody up and accuse and confront them about their corn.
It's cold.
Guys, you have a blue box. Girls, you have a red box. And we don't make purple boxes.
Woo! Nick and Jessica.
All right.
Why is it that the most pious and religious people have the ability to make me the most sexually uncomfortable?
I hope that that tape never sees the light of day.
So Nick and Jessica are schmoozing, and of course, she immediately finds the dirty mag and goes absolutely insane on him. And it's instantly turned into the teachers, and Blake literally doesn't give a damn that basically he just ruined his friend's life and relationship. He just thinks it's funny. So, under the advisement of Pastor Chris, they go outside and burn the magazine. They burn the magazine. Next up, we watch Jessica make a very, very long and very realistically acted phone call.
That's nasty. I'd expect that out of other guys at our school, not him. All right, thanks. Bye.
Finally, the spookiness begins when mysteriously the magazine shows up again in perfect condition after the boys burned it. Spooky things start to happen at the lock-in, which is a nice change from purified cringe. I mean, it almost feels like I'm watching a movie. Our holy gang wanders around doing more found footage stuff, eventually running back into Jessica. Some more animal growls, and the gang is once again on the run. This leads to one of my favorite scenes in the movie where the actor who plays Blake was clearly instructed to hit a window with a chair, but also specifically instructed to not break the window with the chair. So he's got to kind of straddle this very weak middle ground of pretend that comes off completely wrong. Next up, we have some more strong attempts at acting from the actor who plays Nick.
Come here. Stop throwing some. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Okay? Listen, just. All right, listen, guys. Everything is locked, all right? Obviously, we just check the mirror. Check the mirror on. Obviously. I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what the best bet is right now. I don't know.
Hopefully you also enjoy watching the slightly out of shape Nick waddle through dark rooms in his bangin' Coles flannel, because there's a lot of that in the midsection of this movie. And finally, Jessica decides to confront the gang about their sinful transgressions that got them all into this situation.
This is your guys' fault that we're in this situation. What is funny about that? Do you not understand how serious those magazines are? Do you have no, respect for women? Do you not look at those and see that it's sick and that it's nasty?
Do you not understand the impact that they have?
That is what destroyed my family. My father couldn't let go of it because of those stupid pictures in magazines. It's serious. Blake, why would you do that? You would think that is funny.
Here's the thing, Jessica. The difference between your family, my family, is my dad could let go. He let go a long freaking time ago. And you know all that he left me? It was a box full of magazines. So at times, I guess maybe I look at him and say, oh, this is what men do, or this is my dad, okay? So I thought, oh, this is a funny joke, all right?
Now the gang heads back into the hallways to potentially find Jessica's friend Genesis, which leads Jessica to being grabbed by the demon and taken away. I mean, at least I think that's what happened. I mean, look how they edited this.
Where is she, Genesis?
Like, I get cutting away in a found footage movie for budgetary reasons or whatnot, but this edit is insane. Like, it's actually insulting to the human mind.
I heard her. Where is she, Genesis?
At least they follow up this level of complete hackery with the only decent special effect and scare in the entire movie, and I am pretty proud of them for pulling this one off.
Hey, bud. What are you doing here? Buddy?
So this is the first actual inkling that someone had to actually spend more than $0 to make this movie, and yeah, I'm both proud and still very, very bored. But I'm impressed, I'm not even gonna lie. Good job, church boys. Next up, the boys head to Pastor Chris's office, where they find a mysterious video camera with a mysterious videotape inside of it. And that tape is an extremely sad video of a guy who we haven't seen in this movie at all, admitting to having a raging corn addiction, which ruined his life and also haunted him with his own corn demon.
You know, it's gotten to be a problem again. You know, I just kind of fell back into the old habits, and I was alone, and it's definitely stepped up though in terms of the intensity and the stuff that I'm looking at. It's almost like people are watching me. It's almost like I feel people around me.
Hey, let me go get you a tissue.
The boys wander around a bit more, noticing the baptism tub is filling up, and then we cut to one of the weirdest and most incomprehensible scenes I've ever seen in a movie in my life. I mean, this scene had no context. It had no lead up, and it truly blew my mind. I'm going to present you this scene pretty much uncut, even despite the fact that it may eventually be copywritten if these people ever decide to protect their IP ever again. But you need to see this scene and see it for yourself to understand how truly unhinged it is.
Justin, like a little goob, and you're filming us.
That's
okay. Okay, so look.
Okay,
so that's you.
So you're behind, and because you're just a little goober. So you little guy. So he's back there.
So I'm like, hey, be quiet. I'm talking, everybody. Welcome to the lock-in, and it's.
I was like,
we're gonna have so much fun.
But no, remember, I was just don't bring up Jessica. And then Jessica, oh, Nick.
Didn't happen.
Yes, it did. And she was like,
even like you.
Yes, she did. I want to go. And you were just.
None of that happened.
You're all a bunch of freaking idiots.
Blake, get out of here, Blake!
I don't know if there was a scene of these three dudes doing marijuana and drinking or something that they had cut out, but I truly cannot describe or even understand the behavior of the boys in this scene. It is truly baffling. After that spectacle, we're privy to more of Nick's corn-level acting skills, ironically, as he has one more speech to round out this disaster. And yeah, it's full of another series of bizarre emotional outbursts, as this movie is often wont to do. It's like these guys don't know how to actually act, so they just scream when they don't know how to emote.
Blake's not go. No one is coming back! No, you're alright. You're alright. Don't worry. I mean, we're gonna wait in here. Someone's gonna come.
We've been here for
someone is coming.
Blake breaks down at the baptism pool, and while he's being drowned by the demon, some random kid walks into frame. I truly, utterly cannot understand how they didn't see this in the shot, but holy shit, we are at the bottom floor of filmmaking. In the final scenes of the movie, Justin, the cameraman, seems to stumble back into the first moments of the lock-in and realizes that nobody else went through this experience other than him. I mean, it's like time is reset. Nick and Blake take him home while he freaks out about the two of them not remembering what actually happened. And upon arriving home, Justin goes up to his room and films himself collecting a massive corn collection from his closet and then decides to throw it all away, the way that Jesus intended. And that is the final scene of this masterpiece. And that brings us to the end of this anti-corn Christian found footage fantasy lock-in. Now, I know I said this recently about I Want to Be Ninja, the movie, but this is the lowest of the low. We cannot pierce lower than this. This is a movie that is both technically inept and completely incoherent, while also being really offensive, judgy, and bizarrely hypocritical. So, like most Christian media. Now, I can get a hoot out of God's Not Dead. I can get a little bit of a chortle out of most Ken Sorbo adjacent Christian propaganda, but this was intolerable. This took me like 6 different sessions to get through and annotate. I don't suggest anybody in their right mind watch this movie. If you, like me, have a perverse need to insult your own intelligence constantly through the media you consume, then jump right in. This is one of the worst movies ever made. But to everybody else who had to suffer through this, I pray for you. I hope that you can find peace in your own corn addiction. And I hope that one day you are able, like me, to heal from this level of terrible. Until that happens, I am DS Lyons, the Movie Blues, bringing you all of the content that you wouldn't want to make yourself, that most people probably don't want to watch themselves. But I am just going to keep trucking through, I guess. But if you like what you saw here, please subscribe to the channel, like down below. Anyway, thank you. Have a good one. Love you guys. See you next time.
Cause I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I've seen all your movies, and I love your movies, and I think you're the best.